We now get into a conversation of a matter that I would say is developing. It's developed. It can't go any further because those alleged individuals in an audio clip that was leaked and circulating on social media last week, Tuesday, and that is senior members of the THA have remained silent up until this morning. So I'm joined now by the chairman of the Tobago CivilNet, Mr. Rodney Piggott. He's joining us this morning to speak about this situation in Tobago, which has everybody baffled. Good morning, Mr. Piggott.
Good morning, Ketan, to the WESN staff, and certainly the listeners and viewers of your program.
Well, Mr. Piggott, thank you for joining me. They say that silence is golden, and when politicians are silent, sometimes it's for good reason. But this is rather frustrating, what is taking place in Tobago, and more frustrating because there is no explanation. There's, as far as we're aware, there's no ongoing court case where they can't comment on anything. You've suggested, the Tobago CivilNet has suggested, that an explanation is owed to the people of Tobago. Why the argument for the THA owing an explanation?
Absolutely, Ketan. And I like the way you began that by saying silence is golden. That's a very popular saying. I did a Facebook post most recently pointing to that issue, but not pointing it out in my post. And I simply wrote that silence is golden, but there are times when silence is rotten. And this is one of those times, Ketan, where silence is definitely rotten, right? It's not golden at this time. And that is principally because the people of Tobago particularly, Trinidad, yes, but in particular, the people of Tobago are woefully divided on the issue. Not only are they divided because of party politics, which has already divided our nation, but this particular issue now is causing more fissures in our societies, dividing us even further. Some people are practicing what's called cognitive dissonance in order to deal with it, and that's very harmful. So there's a lot of stress that has been unleashed on this small Tobago populace, given all of the stresses that have already been unleashed on us that have not been resolved. Remember, 2021, we came through 2 elections. We came through a 6-6 tie that was not resolved according to the way the people would have liked it to be resolved. We had yet another election where there was a 14-1, and then we had the Duke fiasco, and then the 13 of them walking away from the party. And all of these things are stress. So if you look at the Tobago people, or the Tobago as being a body, like your personal body, what stress does to your personal body, it ravages your cells. It causes disease. It lowers your immunity system. If Tobago can be viewed as a body, then that very same stress is also ravaging our Tobago body. Mm-hmm. And that's what our leaders have to be mindful of. What is this doing to my people?
Do you
and when
think
they
so?
don't think of the people first, then we have problems.
Then I'll get to that in a moment, but you mentioned that Tobago is divided over this particular issue. I mean, the silence has created further division, but there will always be split political opinions. There will always be a split as to who is right and who is wrong. It happens every single day. So how could we say for certain that this is really causing greater division in Tobago?
Because we're hearing it as CivilNet members, and particularly as chair. We don't just keep our conversations amongst the CivilNet members. We talk to the people. We're on Facebook. I, as an individual, I'm on Facebook. I listen to what people are saying on Facebook. I talk to people in the marketplace. On this particular issue, I stood in the marketplace for about a good 45 minutes after I had done my shopping and held serious conversations with people in the marketplace around this very issue itself, talk to people in the malls, where you go to buy food and so forth and so forth. So when you listen to what the people are saying, and you scour Facebook and you hear the commentaries, you listen to the talk shows, the morning talk shows like this one, and all the various commentaries, what you're hearing is a pull and a tug by the people. You have people, and we pointed it out in our press release, where we talk about Tobago being grossly divided. We talk about those people who are seemingly, celebrating, the exuberant over this issue because they are opposed to these executives. They may be from opposing parties that they're not getting to office. There may be people that have personal issues against certain of these executive members. So this particular issue to them, they see this as an opportunity to tear these people down. So they're in celebratory move, right? They're like, yes, we get them against the ropes now, get them to resign, and they're celebrating. Now, the people who are in support of them now, they are heartbroken and disappointed. You hear it. They're heartbroken and disappointed. As I mentioned, some are practicing what you call cognitive dissonance, is even though it's right in front of their face, they're trying to look away from it and look past it. You hear people making comments such as, well, let's move on from this. We're spending too much time on this. These are the same people particularly, and again, I'm on Facebook, the same people who, when the Duke and Kizelle Jackson issue, that fast food, empty calorie issue took place and blew up the media, and the media went into a feeding frenzy on it, interviewing these two people back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. These same people couldn't get enough of that. Mm-hmm. You see? But now, let's move past this issue. So you have those people. You have the people, as I said, who are just simply disappointed and heartbroken because these are the people that we support. And look at what we're hearing, but we don't want to hear what we're hearing. And then you have the people who want to hold on to, and they're part of that also, that this is artificial intelligence. They've already made up their minds. No sort of authentication has been done. And, in order to detect artificial intelligence on recording and videos and so forth and so on, you have to pass that through a particular program that is able to detect the finite skips and the finite places where you've copied and pasted and merged two different conversations and things of this nature, and your ears will not pick it up. Your human ears will not pick it up. This was called a deep fake. Your human eyes will not detect it, but this particular computer program will detect it. So it's able to go frame by frame and inside the frame and things of that nature. So without that being done, there are people already saying this is artificial intelligence. Yeah. This is something that was doctored and copied and things of this nature. So this is the division that is caused. And so within the space itself, we have all these people coming from all these various directions. And what nobody is doing is saying, how is this impacting Tobago?
Okay, so Mr. Piggott, it's often advised, no politician should rush to make a statement. But at the same time, it's been a week. Has the Chief Secretary missed an opportunity to defend himself and his administration from such serious allegations?
Well, more so, and you're absolutely correct. No one wants to rush to make a statement, especially if you are an individual, a private member, right? And if you know you're wrong, you don't want to rush out there and incriminate yourself. Right? Take me through the court process and prove that I'm wrong, right? So you want to remain in that I'm innocent until proven guilty. And if you're not able to bring the evidence to show that I'm guilty, I am not going to volunteer that evidence to you. That's a private citizen. That's your right there. But you're not a private citizen now. You're a public official. And so what you have to think about mostly in that position is the office itself. You have to protect the integrity of the office. This is why you see people like Bill Clinton, when he got caught up with the Monica Lewinsky scandal. It was her word against his. He could have stood his ground, but he knew that the office of the president must be protected. And simply because this very salacious and loud mud was thrown against the office of the presidency, and knowing that he was particularly guilty of something, what did he do? He stepped down to protect the office. You have to protect the integrity of the office, because people will come, people will go, but that office must remain intact for the future.
Mr. Piggott, I apologize for laughing, but the reason being is because many a times we don't necessarily, we speak about the integrity of the office, yet we do not necessarily elect individuals or officials whom have integrity to the office. So it's kind of ironic, isn't it? But the next part of it is that using public funds for private gains is nothing new to our political landscape. Why is this, really the biggest talking point coming from Tobago within the last week?
Well, again, it's leaked audio, right? So it's something that just blindsided the people. And the implications of the audio is that this chief secretary that has stood on certain moral grounds, coming from his religious background, stood on certain moral grounds, they campaigned on certain virtues. We're going to fix it. We're going to put people before politics. We're going to put Tobago first. We're not going to do what has been done for the last 21 years. So all of those pronouncements now, and then this comes, right? So this comes as something that runs counter to everything that you have been saying, you see. So this is where, and again, those forces that may see this as a moment to celebrate, those forces that have been coming at this executive body from the word go, from the minute they touched down in the Tobago House of Assembly and got sworn in, they have not let up. They have been coming at them ever since, because that's the nature of party politics. It's dangerous and divisive. So said George Washington since 1791. So they have been living up to that, coming at these persons. So now they have been amplifying this issue, you see. So the very same propaganda that is being discussed on the audio, you have to know, and this is why CivilNet took the opportunity to point out in our press release the study done by the Oxford University group on social media manipulation by political parties and so forth, that pointed out that this thing is so widespread. In over 81 countries that they surveyed, they said this thing is at a level where it is threatening to destroy democracies. You have to know that everyone is doing it. They're all doing it. And the danger of it is that the public is being deceived, because now what it appears to be, when you use fake profiles, you give one person, may have 3 or 4, sometimes up to 10 profiles. So you may have a room, or you may have 20 persons spread around your constituency, making it seem as though there's 100 people that is actually in agreement with this or is actually opposed to this issue, when it's only 20 people typing a message that was given to them by the political party to type. They themselves personally may not even believe in the message that they're typing. This is the insidious nature of propaganda.
I know that we've focused mostly on Chief Secretary Foley, Augustine. The other individual alleged to be heard in the voice clip, and I keep using that term alleged because, for the sake of libel, it is Zarisha Hackett. But has the Chief Secretary done anything at all to distinguish himself from predecessors, from individuals whom he has spoken against, from members and officials whom he campaigned against? Has he done anything to distinguish himself from these individuals, or has he just fallen into the same old, same old?
And that's a very good question, Ketan. And you're absolutely correct. The word alleged is the word. I'm sure you've read our press release, and you'll see that that's the word that CivilNet chooses to use in conjunction with the audio leak. So we're not just saying audio leak, we're saying alleged audio leak, leaving room for the possibility that it is not necessarily a leak, but something that was simply composed and put out there. As far as the distancing is concerned, this is something that I personally, I messaged the chief secretary very, very early on when he took office. I think it was the first plenary sitting, if I'm not mistaken, but his first message before the people, where he chose in his message to step on the head of those who had lost the election, primarily the PNM party. And he chose that moment as if you're in a fight and you knock your opponent down and you're now gloating. You're standing over them and you're pressing them down with your foot and matching their face into the mud, gloating. And it was that kind of message that he sent. And I was very much opposed to that. I messaged him immediately. No, you dropped the ball there. This was your opportunity to go into that office and change the tone of politics in Tobago, which could possibly infect Trinidad politics. As you know, Trinidad politics is done. That war they have going on between UNC and PNM, if that doesn't change, it's going to level the whole place. But I told him, this was your opportunity, and you still have an opportunity to change the narrative, change the tone. This is where you could have embraced them and say, look, okay, we ran a good race. We were opponents during the campaign over. The Tobago House of Assembly is designed to not have oppositional forces. Let us work together for the benefit of Tobago. He could have done that. And if he had done that, he would have now put himself in a position that if they now start attacking him, the people would have seen, but why attack? The man is stretching out an olive branch to you. He's stretching out a hand of peace and saying, let us all work together. He's not putting you down. Why are you putting him down? But because he attacked them, he now opened the door for them to level unrelenting attacks against him justifiably.
Mr. Piggott.
And so you're absolutely correct. He did not change the tone, and he has not changed the tone, and he must change the tone of politics in Tobago, thinking of Tobago, healing Tobago, not just himself and his character and his image and, but Tobago's image, Tobago's divisiveness.
Mr. Piggott, 1 minute to answer this question. Does this now further solidify the argument put forward that the THA administration simply has no clue? They don't even have their own mandate. They don't know what to do or how to go about this situation.
I don't know the answer to that. That's not a question that CivilNet can answer. I think those are valid opinions of others, and those who have been in the political sphere for years and may have more data with which to form such an opinion. CivilNet as a body, we formed ourselves in 2020. We registered in 2021. We simply don't have the data to make that kind of informed opinion on that matter. We don't know what's going on inside of this executive body, because one thing we have recognized is that the level of transparency that should be there simply is not there. So it gives us now, we don't have that window into them. We can only speak, if we were to make a pronouncement like that, it would be more reactive. It would be more of a reactive response than an informed, proactive response that others who have more data, who have more political experience. Remember, CivilNet is not a political organization. We are a civil organization looking to raise the awareness of Tobago in all areas of people activity, in which politics is but one of those activities. Currently, we're working assiduously in areas of health. We've launched our holistic health awareness campaign. That is going very well. We've had 3 episodes thus far. We're looking for our 4th episode in June, which will be on mental health. We have our education committee that is working very assiduously. And we want people in Tobago to know that we need you. We need volunteers. We need people that are concerned about Tobago and Tobago first to join us. Feel free to contact me at 323-1958 or simply email tobagocivilnet@gmail.com.
Mr. Piggott, thank you very much for your time this morning, sir, and wishing you all the best. Keep well.
Thank you, Ketan, and thank you to the WESN crew.
Take care.